Let me show you how I made this beautiful piece of art for a mystery box. Let me just clarify, I just put together this piece of art. This head sculpture is a 3D printed Japanese demon called Hanya. Usually you'll see them on Etsy selling for a lot, but I found it at the thrift store. As you can see, she was just sitting there 3D printed and all, and I knew I really liked her and that I was going to do something with her. I just didn't know what. She was only $3.99 and such a good buy.
And then finally I found another one of these mirrors. So I found this mirror before and last year I broke it, so now I was extremely happy I found it.
So this is the mirror that I'd actually broken. The frame was so beautiful, I just kept it. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I had a few ideas. I was going to maybe paint a portrait of a lady. Then I was going to put a mirror in it. And then plans changed and I tried to do a peel and stick wallpaper, but like the nice dark academia type. But it looked okay, but no, it wasn't as grand as I wanted it to look. So I just kept it, and it's just been sitting in my house for that long until I got this mystery box order and I knew exactly what I was doing with it. Initially, when I started working on the 3D printed head, I was using markers, and you'll see how bad that was, but I knew I wanted to put the head on this, but I didn't know how or what I was going to do. By the way, this paint was amazing. It was just from Walmart, like just craft paint. Please ignore my counters. Here is the 3D printed head that I tried to use markers on. It was not going well at all, and therefore I stopped, obviously. So here I am just preparing for the Mod Podge. I use Mod Podge because my kit that came with the potions for the gold foil actually were all dried up, so I had to improvise, and because I have no patience, as you can see, I did not even clear up the countertops. There's a massive tomato in the back. That's from someone's garden, by the way. I am not a very aesthetically pleasing or organized art person. I just start working when I get an idea. I have to start working on it right away, and I start working with whatever space is available, and so therefore the lid is still there, the spice jars are still there, the tomato is still there. Okay, so anybody who's ever used gold foil, this is one of the most annoying procedures. I mean, the end result is always so beautiful that you're like, okay, fine, it was worth it, but oh my god, is it so messy. It needs so much patience, and with art, I like when I'm creating in that zone, I don't have a lot of patience, to be honest. And that is one of my biggest faults, because I keep working on it or keep touching it when it's not supposed to be touched, and then I keep messing it up, but that's just how I work. And you'll see here too, like I just went over it so many times. The thing about Mod Podge in this is that you have to be very careful, like with the timing of it, because it has to be the right amount of tacky. If it's not going to stick, or it's going to be too wet and it's never going to dry, and then you're going to just have so much trouble putting it all together. But look how beautiful she started to come out, because it's sticking to her face and the details are actually coming out really nicely. And another pro tip for you guys, please do not do the gold foil in your kitchen if you can't afford to use any other spots in your house, because this gold foil thing, like, it'll get sucked into the pores of your tile. Like, I don't know how, because it's like it turns into glitter. It literally could turn into glitter and then get stuck everywhere. Also, this is the first time I am using a phone holder that hangs on my neck and holds my phone while I work, so let me know what you guys think and if you have any feedback. I know that I've sped up the video, so it does move a little bit too much, like it's jerky, but otherwise, let me know what you think. It wasn't uncomfortable, but it did block my view a little bit, to the point that my brush was on the counter and I was looking for it and I couldn't see it because my phone was blocking it. So it was recording me saying, "Where's my brush? Where's my brush?" In technique, I think I was using too much force. Just looking back and watching the video, I feel like my brush, even though I was using a makeup brush, so it was like very lightweight, and I just wanted to like feather dap whatever, but I think I was using too much pressure for gold foil. And again, too much pressure and not enough patience. That's just a concoction for disaster. Thankfully it worked out for me this time around. Just adding the final touches on like small areas that were not covered. Now it did start cracking up in spaces, and I kind of like that. Kind of like that it looked it gave like an antique look, like, you know, back in the day if there was like old statue in Egypt and they covered it with gold and now the gold was chipping off and you could see underneath. That's the kind of vibe it was giving. So I did like that, and I did leave some of the cracks in there for that reason, and most of them are on the horns, but I think it gives a nice vibe. So now I'm just looking at it to make sure I didn't miss anything. I know under that horn there's a piece missing and I did add to it, so don't worry about that. But this part of the art process is where you just look at your pieces for a really long time. You just stare at them, sometimes you touch them, and then you try to, your brain's like computing if this is gonna work or not, if this looks good or not, and if this goes together or not, because finally, you know, it's like almost coming together. And of course I noticed that the gold on the gold foil and the gold on the frame is duller, but like I knew it was gonna go together somehow, and it did, so I'm glad that worked out for me. So the last few touches, and I'm gonna have my expert put it in the center of the frame.
You're gonna ship this? Is that good?
It was raining so hard outside, there was a whole thunderstorm, which I'll show you in a second. I spray painted these with a matte clear top coat to protect everything. So first we glued it in the center, and then he actually screwed in some nails in the back to make sure that it literally never moves. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you liked my little creation, because I absolutely loved it, and I think the people who get the mystery box will also love it. Bye!